Hey, Security Token Market. Welcome back to another interview. I'm joined here with Andre De Castro, the founder of Blockchain of Things. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Kyle.
So we've had some really interesting conversations because you have a very interesting story that I think is awesome to share with our community. But first off, how about you just give us some intro on what Blockchain of Things is and the solution you've created?
Yeah, so Blockchain of Things is a software company, and we help many companies integrate into the global Bitcoin blockchain. We're a second layer platform where we reduce transaction costs to cents, instant transactions across a global Bitcoin blockchain. You can issue tokens, build applications. We have even a low-code environment where you drag and drop and build things. It's really interesting. I would encourage your audience to go to our website at blockchainofthings.com and take a look at it.
So who is the target customer for the Blockchain of Things solution? Is it someone that's looking to leverage blockchain for their business, or who's your kind of target customer on this front?
Yeah, so the platform itself is horizontal, so it could satisfy people who want to create apps to issue tokens, to create securities. It could be individuals who want to log provenance to the blockchain. It could be individuals who want peer-to-peer encrypted communication. So it's very broad and wide, and that's why we've made high-level, low-code, easy-to-use tools, right? Because we don't know every single type of application that can be built on it, but it's extremely flexible.
So this is a fascinating topic that I want to take a second to make sure that everybody really understands our conversation around the Bitcoin blockchain. I think that there's a lot of misconceptions that the Bitcoin blockchain is only a payment layer. Bitcoin really can only be used as a means of transferring Bitcoin from one user to another, and you seem to disagree with that premise.
Right. So we actually went out of our way to abstract the Bitcoin from Bitcoin. So customers of ours can pay with a purchase order or a credit card, and we have a credit system. Like if you would go to Fiverr and give them $100 and they deduct off that $100 in your account for the services you use, well, that's how we work, eliminating the Bitcoin. So the liability, the hacks, all of those things disappear. And if you want to log provenance or do supply chain management, you don't have to deal with the headaches of doing custody on Bitcoin. So we actually do the opposite. You can do everything on our platform except the one thing, which is accept or send Bitcoin. So that part has been eliminated.
Okay.
So it's real interesting.
It's really just tracking all that information and using the security of the Bitcoin blockchain to do it.
Exactly. Not using the financial component of it. We actually made the financial component, the Bitcoins itself, disappear.
So while that may be very relevant for anyone that's watching that may need to leverage your solution, definitely want to check that out. You've had an interesting run-in from a compliance perspective in how this platform has evolved over time. I wanted to just take a minute maybe to talk about that at a super high level.
Yes, we did. In 2018, we set off on doing one of the ICOs. We contracted a really well-known law firm. We wanted to make sure that we were in compliance and there wasn't anything wrong.
To use the inside of the system with that credit system you're...
Right. Okay. So our credit system are basically tokens on the Bitcoin blockchain, so we already had tokens.
Right.
So we named them BCOT tokens, and we started to sell them because we thought we were clear.
Yeah.
We had a law firm tell us that we were clear, and then right before the actual public sale, we received the subpoena from the SEC, like many companies did. Fast forward 3 years later, and we were one of the few companies who actually went through the whole process. To my knowledge, there's only 2 companies that survived that process, and maybe there are more that I don't know about, and that's Blockchain of Things and AirFox. So today we're a public reporting company.
Okay.
With our BCOT token is a legally registered security token.
Wow.
And we went through the rescission process and all of the things we had to do, like pay a fine for selling unregistered securities, although we didn't realize we were selling unregistered securities. And we worked through the process with the SEC. They were actually very nice through the process. In the beginning, there was some miscommunication.
Right?
Well, miscommunication because they were getting their feet wet on what crypto is
early,
and
right?
blockchain and everything else. So it almost seemed like we were speaking over them and they were speaking over us a little bit. But we got a great relationship, worked through all of the agencies from enforcement to fintech inside of the SEC. It took some time, and because of that, the company sort of went on shutdown because our attorneys didn't want us, doing anything that might look like we're violating securities law again. So for about three and a half years, we've gone dark. We kept building the application, so the application's more powerful than ever. And recently, we've relaunched the company with the application, so your audience can go there and play with the app. And soon we'll be listing our security tokens on some ATSs.
This is fascinating. And so we've talked about the traditional definition of a security token is an asset, right? We're talking about an underlying asset here that is either equity or debt or real estate or one of these types of assets, and we're creating a digital representation of it. But because of the agreement you've had with the SEC and potentially originally selling an unregistered security, this asset, while not actually having a tangible or physical asset that underlies it, it actually is still a security token in the eyes of regulators.
Yeah, we might be, I don't know if we're the only ones, right? But we might be the only ones that is a real U.S. security. But you can't necessarily say that there is no underlying asset if you think of the platform and the usability of the platform as an intrinsic asset to the token, because the token can power the platform.
This is fascinating because when you think about Ethereum, which everybody says is not a security, it sounds like there are some similarities in terms of how your token is used inside of your platform in the same way that some of these other cryptos, not just specifically targeting Ethereum, that may be used inside of their platforms. It's interesting to see if that kind of sets some level of precedent for what we see in the future.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think that there are going to be many versions. At least we know of two now, right? We know the security token that doesn't have a direct equity tied to it, right? Ours, that is tied to functionality, right? That could be expressed in software. So maybe there are other classes that are going to start to be created. But it does mimic, it's starting to mimic a little bit of the traditional crypto world, right? Because there are plenty of tokens out there, right? And some people have derogatory terms for them that don't map to anything, really, right? And they trade at very, very high multiples. Right, so let's see how this field progresses.
That's fascinating, and so you're a publicly reporting company now, and business is going well. What are the most exciting applications you think of your technology that we could see coming through the future?
I think a lot of the exciting implementations of the technology are in the actual issuance of tokens for security tokens. Right. So today we have the functionality that you can issue a token on the Catenas platform, and that's what the platform is called, Catenas. It lives on top of the Bitcoin blockchain. We don't have our own blockchain at all. We're just a second layer technology. But you can move those tokens and convert them into Ethereum, into Polygon, into Binance Smart Chain, back and forth. So now, if you come to our platform, you don't have lock-in like you traditionally had lock-in to one specific chain. And we'll be adding more functionality like that. So
fascinating stuff.
Yeah, so I think that's a large use. And another use is logging provenance to the blockchain for supply chain management or art, right? We also can produce NFTs on our platform. So it's very interesting. We're horizontal, easy to use, and that's that's the area we're going for.
That's awesome. Well, and what's the payment model look like for a business that would like to leverage your platform? How does that work for them? Is it an upfront thing? Is it a subscription style?
Yeah,
Do they need to power this consistently?
Great question. So we license the software on an annual basis. We even have special licensing for developers and startups that is significantly discounted. If someone is interested, they can go to our website and request the specific pricing, but we price it based on usage, right? Users versus connections to the APIs. So we'll price that for an enterprise, and it's a one-time payment that's perpetual. So it's a perpetual license, right? Because we realize that to use the platform, some of our API calls, not all of them. I think we have about 32 API methods or services that we provide in our system. 8 of them require us to pay Bitcoin transaction fees, right? So logging information to the blockchain, we have to pay a Bitcoin transaction fee.
Right.
So we charge our customers via the Catena's credit. But since we use off-chain technology, the price of that goes down to cents. Right? So you could go, and you're always going to have to pay a little bit to maintain the system, right? To maintain your application going forward. So we have a one-time perpetual licensing model, right? And then it's
some credits based off of need.
Yeah, credits based on, exactly.
Fascinating, fascinating stuff. So remind us again, where can interested users or potential enterprises find out more information or contact you?
They can just go to blockchainofthings.com. There's a contact us form there if they want to speak more. There's documentation where they can read all about the power of the product. And in a couple of weeks, we'll be releasing 60 how-to videos. They're about 2 or 3 minutes long, and it breaks down the functionality of the product.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Andre.
Thanks so much, Kyle.
It's been a pleasure to hear your story. And I hope that more people will reach out and you'll get some great recognition from this.
Thank you so much, and I love what you guys are doing with security token markets.
Thank you.